All right, we are all live. Hello, folks. This is Nadia Touch here, health and fitness coach, and I am here with Denise Giovinazzo. She is an owner of Blazing Sky Bodywork, lymphatic practitioner, and licensed massage therapist. And today, Denise, go ahead and say hello.
Hello. How's everyone out there?
And today we're going to talk about lymphatic system. So let me give you just a little bit of tip here. If you're listening and you're feeling fatigue, if you're feeling run down, if you're feeling low energy, maybe there's a pain in your body you can't identify where it is, or allergies, or slow healing wounds, stay very deeply tuned to our conversation. There might be something you want to hear. So Denise, let's jump into your expertise. What is lymphatic system and why is it so important?
Oh, something very near and dear to my heart, Nadia. The lymphatic system is composed of lymph vessels and lymph nodes. Okay, so and our lymph vessels run through our entire body, just like our veins do, okay? So a lot of people, when they think of lymphatic system, they think lymph nodes. But we have these lymphatic channels and vessels that run throughout our entire body. And the one thing that actually directly affects our health and immunity is our lymphatic system, okay? It is considered our secondary circulatory system, which goes in line with our blood. Now, our blood has the heart that pumps it, okay? But our lymphatic system does not have a pump. So it totally relies on movement, on exercise, okay? So that we can move the lymph or the tissues and the fluid throughout the lymphatic system. And part of that lymph is metabolic waste, toxins, fats, large vessels, proteins, which are just water in our system, okay? But we need those to move just like our blood moves. And so if we're not moving, we can cause our lymphatic system to become sluggish or stagnant, and we don't want to do that. So
yeah, so what are the symptoms, if I may say? How do I notice if my lymphatic system is sluggish? What is it am I supposed to be noticing in my body? Maybe in addition to what I mentioned at the beginning. So what else is in there?
Yes, no, absolutely. What you mentioned in the beginning is very important. I mean, these are things when you are feeling run down and you just can't figure out what's going on. If you have allergies that you just can't get a hold of, or you're having to take a bunch of over-the-counter medicine for, maybe you have migraine headaches that aren't going to go away. You have acne outbreaks, skin outbreaks, psoriasis, things of that nature. That is a really big sign that you have a sluggish lymphatic system.
Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay. And Denise, I know you're going to give us a little bit of education. So how is our nervous system and lymphatic system connected? So what is there in terms of why is stress so important? So tell us more about that.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, the truth is stress affects all of us. Okay. We either have stress or we have some sort of traumatic event that occurred in our life. Okay. And when this happens, especially if it remains unresolved, it totally affects our bodies and it causes physical damage to our bodies, which includes our lymphatic system. In fact, when we are stressed out and we go into that fight or flight or freeze mode, and most of us know that as the sympathetic side of our central nervous system, okay? And what happens when we freeze up or we're stressed out, our body just dumps a plethora of hormones and chemicals in our bodies, okay? Things that we don't need to be in our bodies. Now, granted, usually it takes about an hour, okay, for our bodies to return to a homeostasis state, which is our balance state, which is where we want our body to be. But if we are continually being stressed out or not identifying the reasons for our stress, then this is just going to cause an opening in our body for diseases and other pathologies to enter. And so that's why it's real important that we remain very calm. The parasympathetic side of our central nervous system is our rest and digest side of our central nervous system, like I said. So it's very relaxed, and that's really where we want our bodies to be. And some things that can help us do this are diaphragmatic breathing, we can do yoga, just movement and exercise in general. So it's very helpful to de-stress or not become stressed as much as possible. And if we do, find out what the root cause of it is, and so that we can deal with that.
It's interesting. I mentioned just a few minutes ago in my health practice, I also educate on the difference of sympathetic and parasympathetic system. So with our stress, there are actually two, as you mentioned, two types of stress. So the one is immediate stress. Something happens, someone is yelling at you, or in the previous times, the lion is chasing you. So your body is releasing the hormones and chemicals so you can actually run away from the lion. That's the immediate acute response. But if we are not running away from the lion, we freeze and we stay in that freeze response for a very long time, days, weeks, months, unfortunately years. The chronic stress is the one that is starting damaging our systems, our tissues, our body, and that's why all the sorts of diseases show up. Is that right?
That's exactly right, Nadia. Yes.
Yeah. So what is the lymphedema? What is it?
So lymphedema is it's when we have how can I say it? I want to sound professional, but basically it is fluid retention that is within our body, and it happens because we have a compromised immune system. Okay, there are different types of lymphedema. Primary lymphedema is something that someone is born with. Okay, sometimes the signs don't show up until maybe their younger life, teens. Usually by the time they're 30, if they have primary lymphedema, they're aware of it at that time. Again, compromised immune system, compromised lymphatic system. Secondary lymphedema, which is, I deal with a lot of that. A lot of my clients have that, although I do see a few with primary lymphedema. Secondary lymphedema is caused by a traumatic event. Okay, so that traumatic event can be a car accident. It could be a fire, loss of a loved one, loss of a job, gaining weight, surgery, cancer, removal of lymph nodes. That is a very big cause for lymphedema when you have your lymph nodes removed, because then your lymphatic system is compromised. So that's just a brief on what lymphedema is.
Which brings awareness. Listening to you, I was thinking, well, sometimes we can notice if your lymph node is inflamed, you can notice it. And I mentioned it to you the other day, when I was about 9-year-old, one of my lymph nodes was inflamed and it had to be removed. So I have to pay attention to my lymphatic system and how my immunity is behaving. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely. And that's a good point that you brought up, because when you have lymph nodes that you're feeling that they're inflamed or they're swollen, that is a sign that your lymphatic system is working in most cases. Mm-hmm. But if they are inflamed or enhanced, swollen, and you can't determine why. I mean, there's no other reason as to what's going on. You don't have a cold, you're not run down. Then that could be a sign of something more serious. And then, you know, it is recommended that you see a physician. Mm. So pay attention to your lymph nodes.
Yeah. So is it possible to have more bigger size lymph node after a long run? That's actually where I noticed it the other day. It was quite a long run, and the body is quite inflamed actually for about 2-3 days. There's a recovery, energy wise, physically, everything is recovering.
Yes.
So when you have heavy sports, what do you think?
Yes, no, I'm glad you brought that up, because I was going to talk a little bit about, you know, how we can keep our lymphatic systems healthy and how we can keep our fluids moving. And part of that was, you know, the exercise, but I was going to mention that, you know, if you are a runner or if you're a strenuous exerciser, you are going to find that you may have swollen lymph nodes because you're stressing them, you're overtaxing that system when you're running. So it's not uncommon to see that on someone who is doing a vigorous exercise routine or an extensive runner.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm very excited and very curious. So what can we do to help our lymphatic system functioning properly? So what recommendations can you give us?
Okay, well, like I said before, movement. Our bodies are meant to move. Our bodies are meant to get out and move. And so exercise falls in line with that. So initially, besides lymphatic drainage or dry brushing or a compression device like a sleeve or something, or a pump machine, which some people use, and it's usually individuals with lymphedema, something that one can do to help keep their lymphatics moving, swimming in a pool, doing water aerobics, dancing, jumping on a rebounder, okay? Breathing, yoga, anything to do with the breath is really helpful. Walking is huge, okay? I like to go outside and do exercise or do walking, because not only are we getting our vitamin D, we are out in our neighborhoods or in a park, and we're actually looking at nature. It provides us an opportunity for mindfulness, to just kind of forget, and we're moving. 30 minutes will actually cleanse your lymphatic system. So just getting out for 30 minutes on a walk is so important. And in addition to just movement and breath, your diet is very important as well. You want to try to eat as clean of a diet as possible. Processed foods are not good for our bodies, okay? They just weren't made for our bodies. So it's not something that we can do right away. You know, a lot of people can't just overnight shut out processed foods, but start slowly. Read your labels. Milk and dairy, it causes inflammation. Inflammation is not good for our body. So you might want to consider maybe trying a nut milk or something, you know, just generally, gradually change. Also wheat. I'm not gluten intolerant or anything, but my husband and I have cut out a lot of wheat in our diet, and it has made such a difference in our lives. So be aware of your diet, read your labels, try to reduce processed foods, dairy, wheat. Sugar is also another area of concern that we really want to pay attention to, especially all those added sugars. Those are not good for our body. They just weren't meant. And they really do help with the movement of the fluids and tissues, the lymph, in our lymphatic system. So exercise, diet, breathing, really good things that you can do to help keep your lymphatic system moving and to keep it clean.
Yeah. It's interesting with diet. When I teach my clients, we start with mindful eating. As you mentioned, sometimes it's hard to get all these ingredients away from your diet. You know, processed meat is not good for you. So what you can do is just gently eat that meal and mindfully, I actually have a particular journal, see how your body is responding. You might not know whether you have intolerance to dairy or wheat. Mindful eating reflector can actually help you to just mentally and emotionally and physically first to see if you need to be more careful and aware of this particular food or ingredient. Yes.
Yes.
And
I love that. I mean, I love that because we are always rushing. And so when things happen, a lot of times we don't know why they happen, but it could be something as simple as the mindful eating and just noting how your body's responding to that. I'm gonna have to take a cue from you on that and start doing that myself. So, hey, listen, another thing I wanted to say, like in regards to walking, or exercise, exercising in a gym is great. Okay. I applaud the person who's getting out to exercise, but keep in mind that what we're trying to do is we're eliminating toxins from our body. So just like walking near a highway, I would recommend not to do that because we're breathing in the toxins and the fumes from the cars. Just like in a gym, other people are eliminating their toxins and whatnot, and then we're just breathing it back in. So even though I think it's good that if you're able to get out to a gym, but being outside is better and away from the cars.
Yes. And that's actually what I was going to bring back to our conversation. I love that idea of walking 30 minutes in the fresh air. One of the natural vitamins, sun, fresh air, and just help your nervous system to calm down. So going back to sympathetic, parasympathetic system, how you can actually calm your body down and brain down from this chronic stress is doing that. Gentle exercise, walking outside, breathing. We think about taking so much time to do all that, but 10 deep breaths takes 2 minutes. And this 2 minutes is enough for your brain to receive a signal. Oh, she is breathing slow, which means she's relaxed. I got to be relaxed too. So you can actually trick your brain and calm your body down in just 2 minutes.
Yes. Breathing is so important. We just do not do enough conscious breathing. And it's so important for our body to help move, you know, the bad and the good through our body. So.
Anything else, Denise, that you would like us to let us know about? importance?
Well, I did want to say that, we were talking about, how stress and, opens up our body to a host of diseases. So some things that if you do have a sluggish or a compromised lymphatic system, some of the things that you might see, or that I have seen totally with my clients, besides lymphedema, autoimmune disorders, multiple sclerosis, Lyme disease, fibromyalgia. I mean, there's a host of autoimmune diseases, and there is scientific research that shows that these autoimmune disorders are caused from sluggish lymphatic systems. Okay, so not only that, but like I had mentioned, headaches, so migraine, sinusitis, allergies, any type of skin disorders. When you have pain, unexplained pain, slow healing wounds, things of this nature, it is an indication that your lymphatic system is sluggish. And so that's why it's so important to keep things moving so that you don't end up with a pathology, or any of these other diseases, that one might experience because of their lymphatic system. It is our immune system. We have to keep it as healthy as possible.
Indeed. So let's take responsibility for our own physical body. So Denise, if we want to connect with you, how do we get in touch with you?
Okay, well, I have my own business. It's called Blazing Sky Bodywork, but unfortunately, I have not been able to open it back up. I also have a compromised immune system. So metastatic breast cancer was diagnosed 2 years ago, and I'm doing really well, but because my white count is low, I have to take precautions with COVID. But it is the cancer. It's a blessing to me, okay? I don't like it. I mean, naturally, people will say, hey, I'm sorry you have cancer, but it's been a blessing to me because it has brought me to the work that I'm currently doing that I love. So even though my practice is closed, I'm available for complimentary consultations or referrals. I can walk through, we can FaceTime, Zoom, whatever, and I can maybe help you through the situation that you're having, or I can refer you to someone who can help you right now until my practice is open. I do have a business partner. Her name is Amy Scottino, and she is open. She is also trained in lymphatic drainage. In fact, she is a massage instructor as well, and she also does continuing education classes on lymphatic drainage. So she's an excellent resource and also a referral. Beautiful. So, and then to reach me, because that was your question. So my office is Blazing Sky Bodywork. So my website is blazingskybodywork.com, and then my email is blazingskybodywork@gmail.com. So you can reach me through either of those methods.
Thank you. And we will put it in the comments under the video as well.
Great.
Okay. So what I hear that even though they might not be able yet to see you in person, they can connect with you for questions, send you an email, or schedule a consultation. Is that right?
Absolutely. Yes. And it's a complimentary consultation. I could talk about lymphatics all day. So it's very important. And I'm so glad. Thank you for doing this webinar, because it's so important that individuals know the importance of their lymphatic system. A lot of people don't even know that that's part of their bodies. So.
Indeed. So education in this case is the power.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Denise, so much for joining us in this webinar and sharing and educating us on the importance of lymphatic system, what it is, how to notice the signs, and more important, what to do about that. So really appreciate your expertise.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Please do connect with Denise, and we will see you soon. Denise, I will give you the last word.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Get out there and move, okay? Get your vitamin D and move those tissues in your lymphatic system. Namaste.
Enjoy your health and vitality. Bye-bye now.
Bye.